and welcome back to Cessna Home Cockpit. Yesterday I will do a flight to test Pilot2ATC again. I did some modifications to the cockpit. I added a light in the roof of the cockpit, so you can hopefully see the instrument panel better. I got some very nice feedback on YouTube from somebody who told me, it is very hard to see. So I did something with this feedback and I installed a LED light. What I also did was change the sound settings, so Pilot2ATC is better, has better sound. The volume is increased to I think 100%, and I also read some information about real ATC in the Netherlands, and I'm going to test if this works in Pilot2ATC, because I think Pilot2ATC is based on US ATC and not the ATC we have in Europe. In Europe you have to contact ground before you do anything at all. You have to contact ground and you have to ask permission to start the engine. I don't know if this works in Pilot2ATC, because to contact ground you have to obviously have radio contact, and to have radio contact I think I have to start the plane. So I will now try to only start up the avionics without the engine, and see if I can connect to ATC or ground. Master switch on, battery on, and avionics on.
Maastricht Aachen information Foxtrot 1000 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 14, dew point -10. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 03, departing runway 03. Advise on initial contact you have Foxtrot.
So there was ATIS. I will switch to ground 121.82, and let's see if we can contact them via Pilot2ATC. Ground Cessna 2 Sierra Papa. That's not working. I will now start the plane. Let's see if I can then contact ground. Fuel pump on, prime the engine. Fuel pump off. 1/4 inch throttle. Avionics on, and let's see if I can get connection to ground. Ground Cessna 2 Sierra Papa. No, that's not working. Then I think I have to switch to tower, which is 119.47. Let's see, 119.47. Ground Cessna 2 Sierra Papa.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, this is tower, go ahead.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, ready to taxi.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, taxi to runway 21 via taxiways Whiskey, Alpha 13, hold short runway 21.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa. Oh, that sounds great. So I'll have to contact tower and not ground. Then I can ask if I can taxi. I will also try now if I can get permission to start the engine. It's obviously already running, but I want to try out if it would be possible. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, request engine start.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa engine start approved.
Ah, that's great. So I can contact tower and not ground to get permission to start the engine. I can ask for the weather. Perhaps tower can also give me weather. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa requests weather information. No, that's not working. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa requests wind.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa Maastricht Aachen winds are 190 at 8 knots.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Pilot2ATC adds a lot of immersion to the sim, I think. I'll ask again if I have clearance to taxi. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, ready to taxi. Oh, that's
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa taxi to runway 21 via taxiways Whiskey, Alpha 13, hold short runway 21.
I loaded the taxiways in Pilot2ATC, so I think we can go the right direction. We have to go to runway 21. Via taxiway Whiskey. In this airport there's only one taxiway, so that is great. Let's see the frame rate. Well, it's not that good, but it's also not that bad. Last time I had about 15 frames per second, and that was not flyable. I also replaced Leo Botner board in the SciTech yoke with Arduino Mega. Now the yoke is controlled by ArdSimX. It's a really great tool which I use to build my panels. I have one for the switch panel. I have also one board for the yoke, and it's a great tool. I highly recommend it. I will put a link in the description for the site. As you can see, my parking brake is not working, or is not right installed. I'm working on a new parking brake and a new GPS setting with the Garmin 530, which I already have, but I will add a Garmin 430, so that would make it more realistic. Let's see if I can cross the runway, if I get permission. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, ready for departure.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa winds are 190 at 8 knots, altimeter 2947 cleared for takeoff, runway 21 squawk 1200.
Let's see the script. I want to do a pattern flight, and I have to ask tower for departure to remain in pattern. Let's try if that works. Tower Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, holding short runway 21, ready for departure to remain in pattern. I don't think he understands me. Let's try this again. Tower Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, holding short runway 21, ready for departure to remain in pattern.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa winds are 190 at 8 knots, cleared for takeoff, runway 21 squawk 1200.
Let's see if this works. 200. Okay, squawk is on. Cleared for takeoff runway 21. Fly a left-hand pattern for touch and goes round runway 21. Will stay with you. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa ready for takeoff.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa winds are 190 at 8 knots cleared for takeoff. Runway 21 squawk 1200.
Let's see if I can get right control of the plane. I still have the problem with the yokes. We do a left hand pattern. 60, 17, airspeed alive, and there we go. Let's see in the script. Now I have to repeat on each circuit my call sign and left right downwind. Now we go to the left downwind. And then we have to there's the runway, we're a little bit high. Let's reduce the throttle. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa on right downwind runway 21 for touch and go. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa on right downwind for touch and go.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, the pattern direction is left.
Hi, that's great. He recognized my mistake. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, downwind, left downwind for touch and go.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa squawk 1200.
Okay. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa on final. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa inbound for landing. Oh, he doesn't recognize that.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, good morning. Squawk 1200, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 21. Call downwind.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa downwind.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, call turning final for runway 23 left.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa turning left runway 21.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa winds are 190 at 8 knots cleared to land runway 21.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, cleared for landing runway 21. A little bit high, a little bit slow, but for first test with Pilot2ATC it's not that bad, I think.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa exit runway when able.
Toe brakes a little bit over responsive. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa is cleared of active. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, clear of active.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, welcome to Maastricht Aachen. There is no ground control at this airport. Let us know if you need taxi instructions.
Oh, that's why we didn't get permission in the beginning to take off, because there's no ground control, they say. Ah, that's something I didn't know. I thought there was ground control at this airport, but it has an Xplane default, but Pilot2ATC not. I'll ask taxi permission or directions. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, taxi directions request. Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, request taxi directions.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, taxi to General Aviation parking via taxiways Whiskey. Say again your request.
Cessna 2 Sierra Papa, taxi to General Aviation. And here we are at General Aviation. As you can see, in front of us it's General Aviation. It's mentioned above the truck. Parking brake on. Avionics off. And engine off. So that was my first flight with Pilot2ATC. I did some tests previously, but I was not very successful. This was my first successful flight, and I can highly recommend Pilot2ATC. Also, I use ArdSimX, which gives better control over the yoke. So I have basically a side-deck yoke which is heavily modified. I did connect the ports to an Arduino Mega board. It's about 10 euros on this Mega board, and with the ArdSim software it is very easy to program the pitch and roll for the yoke. I also connected the PTT, push to talk button, to the ArdSim, and it works great. Next time I will be doing a flight, I think from one airport to another, to see if ATC can follow my directions. But so far so good. Very happy with Pilot2ATC, very happy with ArdSimX, and looking forward to new flights. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm happy to answer them. You can reach me by mail or in comments. I'm not every day online, so it can take some time before I respond, but usually I will respond within a couple of days. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.